Haven't talked a lot about Clint Bowyer tonight. But as we close on 10 to go, he finds himself in position to strike. Marty?
Well, that's because he's been in the back of the pack on purpose. Adam, crash on the track. Adam.
Just talking about got airborne. A.J. Allmendinger, Jeff Gordon, David Rudiman, Matt Kenseth all involved.
The 11 car's in there too. You know, we're just talking about how he had just come back, and they just keep beating this guy down, man.
That was two big hits, really. Yeah. I mean, that second hit when you get run into like that, that is hard.
And he took a hard hit last week.
Yeah, Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth led the most laps here in February.
Window net's down, which is a good sign.
Ooh, 24 in it.
Yeah.
Wow. Gordon had been running great.
All these guys were right there in that second pack that had just been separated, and Junior was about the cutoff. You see AJ down on the ground here. Obviously, he's took a little bit of a hard hit, knocked the breath out of him. But they were just behind that pack where Junior and those guys had separated, because that's where Denny was. He had just driven up to the back bumper of Junior right along there.
Sometimes TV just doesn't do the justice of how hard these cars are hitting the wall. You know, we've talked about how great the improvements on the walls and things have been, but guys are still going 200 miles per hour when they're, knocking the walls down.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a soft wall, even though that's what we call them, and that's what we talk about them as. They soften the blow, but there is no such thing as a soft wall. See Denny down on the inside right there. That thing just turns right.
Yeah.
It's like something
strange.
That was really strange.
Wow. Kenseth did a great job not running into the door of the 11, but then the 51, just nowhere to go.
But for Hamlin, he goes nose first into the wall. Very similar to how he hit the wall in California when he suffered that compression fracture.
Yeah, but a different angle.
But watch this right here. Here he is. The two cars, there's spacing behind him. The two cars behind him. He goes there. Wow. I don't know if the two car got into the back of him and sent him to the inside and he overcorrected.
It almost looked like the car in front of him slowed down.
Good point.
And he turned to the left, and that's when it spun him around.
But then, and then obviously everybody's trying to avoid him.
Yeah. Yeah, watch Bowyer. You get the 11. Looks like these guys get, he just dove down.
Wow.
And then corrected maybe. That's really a strange act. Man, Matt did a good job not hitting that car, but then he got clobbered.
See Blaney in that. And Blaney had a good run. Those guys had run in the top 10 or 15 a lot tonight in that 7 car.
Yeah. He drives down almost like they're slowing down in front of him, but
when he got over there, but you see he didn't have the tires really cut one way or the other. It's not like he's got a lot of left turn in it or a lot of right turn in it when you look at that left front tire.
One thing, Kyle, possibly, when he drove down underneath that yellow line, he tried getting back up above the yellow line because he didn't want to be on the apron and going through the tri-oval with the banking being different. I'm sure we'll talk to him and hear what happened.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear what happened and what he has to say.
Yeah, the 51 just
no
place to go. Neither did Blaney.
Sparks flying everywhere.
Yeah, they were Denny was very fortunate right there to be backing in at the right angle. AJ hitting him the way he hit him, and you watch AJ hit the 11 car and pick it up in the back. If that'd been in the door, that's pretty horrific.
This hit or that hit.
Yeah.
I mean, watch the 20 car here.
This is hard right here. It's a lot harder than it looks. And you see Denny's car. If we just stay watching Denny's car gets up next to the wall, and then it opens up to the driver's door.
That's the scariest, most vulnerable part right there.
And there's AJ, and there's no place for those guys to go when you see the 11 car get up in the air.
Denny Hamlin, who had battled back from a lap down, was running 11th.
Back it down, in the wall ahead of you. Stay right in the middle, hustle, you're clear. Clear, keep digging, 83 inside. One more inside, clear low, dig on through that.
That's a great job right there by Spotter and Biffle.
And Bain as well. Trevor Bain able to avoid the accident completely.
You watch these cars right in the center. A bunch of those guys did a good job.
So our 5th caution of the night has now led to a red flag. 2nd consecutive week the Sprint Cup Series has gone under red. Last week at Kentucky, Brad Keselowski and Greg Biffle among those involved in a hard hit. And tonight you see the drivers involved in this one. If you're just joining us late on this Saturday night, Jimmie Johnson is the race leader. He's led 82 laps. Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, who are hanging in the back most of the early portion of this race, have rallied to the front. They are 2nd and 3rd. Casey Kane qualified up front, spent a lot of time there. He is now 4th, and Kurt Busch, looking for his first win of the year, is 5th. Ambrose, Danica Patrick, Casey Mears, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Clint Bowyer, the top 10. Good to have a little mental reset with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you'd rather not see a red flag.
Yeah.
I never just wanted to sit and think about it. You know, a red flag.
Yeah.
You know, you get in a mode and all of a sudden you've got to turn it off for a little bit.
Yeah.
And
they were in a rhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy was in a rhythm on what he was doing. You go back and you look at Harvick and you look at Stewart and you look at Kane. They were formulating where they wanted to be, what they wanted to do, what they wanted to happen. So I think when you look at it, this kind of stops that planning, and now you've got to regroup. We're back to what was said earlier, what Tony said earlier. Now you have to call an audible, and these guys now they've got to regroup.
Sir.
Well, it looks like you've got a pretty strong car. That 48 has looked like it's been the strongest car. When do you think you'll give it a try and see if you guys got something for them? I know you and Stewart work real well. You guys have been hanging out in the back, and now you've got yourself in a good spot. What do you think you're going to need here?
First thing we have to do is, get a good restart, and then I think you try to take the first available opportunity. But it's all going to come down to the restart and how everything shuffles out to see where our Budweiser Chevy, the strategy that we take from there. So we'll see how that lines out and make a game plan from there.
Compared to the Daytona 500, these cars look like they're a lot better to drive and a lot better to race. Would you say that? I mean, it looks like you guys are, being able to run 2 abreast, even 3 wide sometimes, where it looked like the Daytona 500, they're much more of a handful.
I think everybody's had some time to get a better game plan and really work on the handling of the cars. And, I think obviously everybody's a little more tentative at the beginning of the year. And for us, we didn't make it very far in the first 2 races of the Speedway races this year. So hopefully we can finish this one off, but my car's driving good. Hopefully it stays that way.
Thanks for talking, Kevin. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Mentioned a couple of times earlier tonight, Kevin Harvick. The downfall Achilles heel of this team in 2013 has been the restrictor plate races. He's in position to capitalize here this evening, trying to get his 3rd win of the year. Larry?
Well, what I see here is we have roughly 30 drivers that are on the lead lap that does not have damage. And every one of them, I think, truly believes I can get up there and win that race. I guess the moral of my story, I think the winner of the race is going to come from somebody in that pack of cars right there, because that's all the drivers pretty much on the lead lap, and every one of them believes, give me a shot, I can win this thing.
Well, they're going to have to get by Jimmie Johnson if they're going to be able to do it without question, because he's been so good here tonight.
Did Larry just circle the whole field?
I think he did.
I think he did.
Let's hear from Chad Knaus, the man calling the